So Corby, thank you again for taking some time out for us. I know it's a really busy time right now, especially knowing that G2E is going to be an in-person event again this year. So that is, I'm sure, very exciting, but at the same time involves a lot of logistics. Just to kick off, can you just walk us through the steps involved that made sure that the show is going to go ahead this year, and what we have to look forward to?
Sure. So all along in this process of the last year and a half or so, we've been in constant contact with a lot of stakeholders. First and foremost, our partners at AGA, and along with them daily. We talk with exhibitors all the time, we talk with attendees, and we talk with AGEM too. The AGEM membership is so important to G2E. So talking with AGA and AGEM, we decided we really need to engage deeply with stakeholders on their thoughts about whether they had a need to attend G2E, whether they thought they would travel if they were not based in Las Vegas, and whether there would be buying activity happening at G2E this year. So with the support of all of our partners, we put out a research project that was back in April and May of this year. And when we put out that study, we really didn't know what would come back, but we really wanted to honestly know what the stakeholders were feeling. So we did put out this survey, and when the results came back, we saw that over 80% of those surveyed said that they wanted to come to G2E live and in person in Las Vegas this year. So that really was a relief, and that, along with changing regulations here in Las Vegas, when regulations changed on June 1st and allowed more large gatherings, those all together really helped us reach the decision to go forward with G2E in person this year, and the reaction that we've had from our stakeholders really reinforces that we've made a good decision.
Yeah. So can you describe the sense of relief, that the collective sense of relief once it was finally confirmed that it was a in-person show?
Sure. Well, I think we had a moment of relief, and that quickly turned to anticipation. So especially because it was June 1st when we made our announcement, and October 4th is not that far away. So there's, like you mentioned, a lot of work to be done in the meanwhile. So it was just a moment of, great, now let's get to work. So we're in that anticipation mode, we're in the planning mode, we're really excited about it. And mostly because we really have missed the opportunity to come together as an industry in the last year plus. So really excited, and I think our stakeholders are too.
Yeah. So could you, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but can you give us a sense of the response you're getting from exhibitors? Is it going to be a great turnout? What kind of expectations do you have?
Well, our exhibitors are in their planning mode, and they have been for quite a long while. They of course haven't been able to show at a physical show for a long time, so they've been busy with their R&D. They're working on new innovations, and they're excited to bring those to market. They come back to us constantly and tell us that G2E is their most important show of the year. So when we made that June 1st announcement, it was really very good and a high volume of feedback from them. They're excited to be at G2E this year.
Right. And just looking at some stats here, according to the LVCVA, domestic arrivals are increasing, but international visitation is still struggling a bit. Are you projecting a good visitor turnout?
Well, from what we hear from U.S. visitors, they're very enthusiastic about coming to G2E. International, of course, we're monitoring the news and all of the regulations just like everybody else on that, and we're hopeful that by the time we get to October, there are some more relaxed international travel restrictions. We, of course, that's not our area to make a call on. We monitor that like everybody else. But the feedback that we've had is that globally there's excitement about returning to G2E. So we're hoping that we can welcome our international visitors as well as the domestic visitors.
Right. And it's 100% capacity, so you're prepared to accommodate international visitors if, of course, those channels are opened up again.
We are, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, there's still some residuals, of course, from the pandemic in terms of safety measures. Can you describe what measures are still going to be in place once people arrive at the G2E?
Well, the requirements have changed, of course. But one other thing that informs us on what our health and safety measures exactly will be is the learnings that we as Reed, as a corporate entity, we learn a lot daily because we organize hundreds of trade shows worldwide every year. And we've started up trade shows in the US again. So we learn a lot from those. We learn what our attendees want to see, what helps them feel safe. And jurisdictionally, there may be different regulations within the venue. So things adjust as we get closer. And the key is that we will do what it takes to hold a safe event. So we're working out exactly those details as we get closer. All of those details too, as they change, they're updated on our website constantly. So that's the best source of information for that.
So you just have to stay nimble, I guess. When announcements are made, you just have to react accordingly.
Absolutely, yeah.
And will there be a virtual component to the show this year?
There will be a virtual component. We're working out exactly the details on that. But we know, of course, from 2020 that we need to bring G2E to life, not just in the in-person venue. We need to have an option for people who aren't able to come to G2E to participate in G2E. So we're looking forward to the engagement with the full global audience this year, in person and digitally.
Right. And can you also just detail some other innovations for this year that born not only out of necessity because of the pandemic, but how the industry is naturally progressing and advancing?
Well, I think we all saw a major shift in 2020, right? When we changed the way that we consumed information.
Sure.
So we're continuing on that trend, and G2E did launch G2E Digital in the last year, where we're engaging a lot more digitally. And we're having really good response to that, where we have our G2E Insider Live newsletter that we're engaging with our stakeholders. We're doing G2E Live webinars. So you'll see those from time to time, and also some virtual roundtables. But we're seeing really good engagement, especially on segments of the market like sports betting, payments modernization, and also a lot of engagement on iGaming. So it's those sectors of the business, in addition to core gaming, that is always very hot for G2E. But we're seeing engagement across a lot of different business verticals within the gaming industry, which is really exciting for us.
Yeah. Those must be accelerating as well. Yeah, fantastic. Well, Korbi, that's pretty much all I had at the moment, but thank you very much for your time again, and very much looking forward to seeing you back in Las Vegas for G2E.
Excellent. Thank you, Carl. Can't wait to see you in Las Vegas.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.